Hey guys, Skylar's back with another video. I'm Joey. Got the Nissan 350z with me. Yeah, I'm just gonna be talking a bit in this video about why this car is such a great car to buy. Alright guys, this is my Nissan 350z. Nissan made these cars from 2003 to 2008. This one specifically is made in 2006. It's a base model. There's some other trims that vary from higher to lower prices and everything, but yeah, this is the base model. So obviously, like I just said before, this is Z, part of the whole Z series. You can see right there. This is the one after the iconic 300ZX, which is from the 90s, and then run right before the famous 370Z. So yeah, I bought this car because I thought it was be a great starter car, or I heard people say it was a great starter car, and I'll pass on that information to you guys in this video. All right, so next we're going to be talking about the engine. Of course, Nissan put a 3.5 liter V6 into these cars. It's making around 280 horsepower from stock. I got a cool air intake. The whole exhaust system that I installed in my past video, or in our past videos, bumps up the horsepower. But yeah, for now it's untuned, so it's making 280 horsepower. Very respectful starter car, I would say. The tuned up higher trims make around 300. The VQ35 HRs makes 300 horsepower, and of course the Nismos make even more than that. But yeah, this is base model. The VQ35DE makes 280. It's plenty of power, especially for a starter car, like I said. And yes, moving on to the suspension now. I'm gonna go ahead and say it. I don't know a lot about the 350Z stock suspension. I bought the car with coilovers on, and then quickly transferred the air ride suspension. All the Z series for the Nissan is very sporty. They're all sports cars, so all the suspension is very sport suspension, which means they're stiffer than normal cars. But like I said, I don't have stock suspension. I have air ride. So alright guys, gonna move on to the convenient side of a sports car. As you can see, this is kind of like a hatchback type look. It's a big trunk, moves away all the way past the back window, all the way to that seam up there. It's very big. Despite all that space, I don't have a lot of room in here because I completely gutted it for my air ride suspension. But for a sports car, this is a lot of space. I mean, you could fit a grocery bag or two. So yeah, it's pretty good, pretty convenient. But you're not buying this car to go get groceries, so it doesn't really matter. Moving on to the interior of this car. This is what an interior of the Nissan 350Z looks like. It's not a very good example because I have the racing bucket seat right here. I also have the racing harness here. And as you guys can see, the steering wheel is also not stock. But if you want to come here and look at the seat over there, that is stock, the passenger seat. It's a leather, which is a really nice thing that Nissan gives you here. But yeah, everything else is pretty much stock. As you can see, it's a 6-speed manual. Nissan came out with the Z with either 6-speed manual or automatic. But it's really reliable clutch, transmission, everything's very, very good. I learned it personally. I learned stick on this car, and it treated me very well so far. So yeah, good transmission, very nice interior, I would say, for a sports car. It's a little tight. But, all right guys, now I want to talk about the looks of the car. Not to be biased, but I think it's a pretty good looking car. I always thought 350Zs were pretty clean looking. Right now mine is pretty dirty, so probably should have washed before I made this video. But anyway, the car is a little round, a little buff. Some people like that look. But yeah, that's how the Z is. I like the aerodynamic streaks here on the hood, on the bumper a little bit. Obviously that's aftermarket, but they still had that. But they always had the little things that just represent that it is a sports car. I really like that. This is the hardtop version of the Z. 350Z either came with the hard top or the soft top. I'm personally a big hater with the soft top. I never really liked them. I think they look bad on any car, so I had to get the hard top. Obviously, some things are a little aftermarket. The B pillar, everything's carbon fiber right here. The headlights are tinted, or smoked. I mean. You get really the general sense of how a Z is supposed to look. I put a ducktail in the back to really help the rear end of it, make it a little bit more aggressive, and I didn't like how the trunk really dropped off. But yeah, this car weighs in at 3,500 pounds, very heavy for a sports car. It's made fun of for that. all the Zs were really supposed to be, they all are sports cars, but they're supposed to be, street cars. While this one was always accused of being like kind of a cruise car, a car you take on the highway, because it's so heavy. But I'm working on dropping the weight, but you really can't get under 3,000 pounds with this car. But I don't think it ruins the looks. I think it looks pretty cool. But yeah, that's the end of the video. So yeah, like I was saying, the point I was making was this is one of the best starting cars you could get. Definitely one of the best Japanese starting cars you get. If JDM is more of your style, I definitely say this is a car you should look more into. Any part here is you can modify. I think that's a really big thing that people miss with the RX-8 and with other cars that I know of. You can't really do that because there's just not enough parts to buy. And the parts you can buy are so expensive because they're so rare. That's not the case with this car. There are so many companies that sell Z parts, and I think that's a big thing that you should consider when buying this car or when looking into a car to buy. But yeah, I also heard rumors, or I heard people say that the engine was almost designed by Nissan, that it's easy to engine swap. That has nothing to do with starter car, but I think that might be something I'll look more into in the future. Try to get myself more of a powerful engine. But yeah, that's for another day. It's for another year. For now, yeah, that's me the video, and hope you consider buying this car because it's a great car to buy.